Video walkthrough on Keystone Cougar. We'll start in the back. They're pre-wired for a backup camera. It does not have one. That's something you'll have to have us install if you would want one, or you can do it yourself. It's not too difficult. It does use power off those marker lights up there, so the running lights on your tow vehicle need to be on for it to work correctly. Show cord, your show cord, it'll come with a unit. You just twist it and then screw this on to lock it. It's about 25-30 feet long. You have a receiver back here. It's not for towing. It's like a bike rack or a regular rack. It does have a, let's see, a 300-pound capacity. Do got a ladder, so it is a walkable roof. I do encourage you to go up there every once in a while and inspect your roof, the rubber material and all the sealant. That's the only way to keep your roof warranty, is proof of regular maintenance. Side seals, every once in a while you want to check them, make sure they're not dry or cracked or anything like that. If they start to go that way, take it back in and we can do what's called a slide out maintenance. We perform some stuff on the seals, some conditioner, and then some dry lube on the rails. You can also buy those supplies to do that here. Got a gray tank back here with a valve for it. I always make sure it's closed before you take it off, before you take that cap off, because you know it could be a little gross. Gray water's not as bad, but when you start getting into black water, that's when you want to be extra careful. Fridge vents, every once in a while y'all gonna want to look up in here, make sure they're not clogged up with spider webs and any debris. Got some one up there too. Definitely recommend taking them off every once in a while and cleaning real good back there. Got a fresh water. This is where you fill your onboard fresh tank. Let's get the key so I can show you folks. Put the key the right way around. With my unsteady hands. Oh, it was already. Look at that. Would you look at that? It was already unlocked. There we go. Fresh water. Just rest your hose in there. Don't jam it in there. You don't want to pressurize your tank. It's just a gravity fill. Once you fill it up, you can use your water pump. You can pull from your fresh tank. That's your other sewer hookup. Let's make sure this cap gets put on for you. Go. Your other valves will be over here. We'll show you as we go along. Furnace. Just like your fridge, every once in a while, you're going to want to look in here, make sure it's not full of any debris or anything. Clean it out every once in a while. They do make screens for these. They don't recommend running your furnace with the screen on because it just restricts airflow. But I've seen people do it, so do it with what you will. The screen is good. It'll keep road debris from getting in there when you're driving down the road. It'll keep insects from building nests in there. Water heater, super simple. It's already set up to be used. The only thing you gotta do is put water in it. It'll start filling up. Definitely recommend draining it after every trip. You don't want water to sit in there for a long time. It'll start to get stagnant and smelly, and it'll be kind of a pain in the butt to flush out. So before you pull this plug to drain it, two things. It's 1/16 is the socket size. I use a short socket with an extension. Ratcheting wrench is the easiest thing to do. Pick a cheap one up at Harbor Freight. Before you pull that out, you want to pull this pressure relief. Water will come out. It's coming out now. There must be a little bit of water in there. We'll make sure that gets drained and the plug put back in for you. Once the water stops coming out, snap it closed. Then you can pull that plug. If you neglect to relieve the pressure and you pull this, now all that pressure is going to come out there, and you're going to get wet. And then you do have a switch down here. On is for electric. We'll leave it on, but the actual turning on and off you will do from your in-command system on the inside. So even though this switch is on, the electric component is not on. And then definitely recommend cleaning in here and up down in here quite often. Make sure this whole area is clear of any debris. Over here, water hookups. You have external shower with a quick disconnect. Let's see if I can't do it one-handed. Yep. With hot and cold. Water heater bypass for winterizing it. You can turn this to on. It'll bypass the water heater so no water will go into your water heater. You have a winterization switch. You can turn that to on. If you have an old hose that you can cut the end off of it, you can screw the hose into here, set the end into a gallon of antifreeze, RV antifreeze, turn your pump on, it'll suck from there rather than your fresh tank. Then you have your city water connection. That's where you're gonna hook your hose up to when you run off for city water pressure. You won't need your pump. Right below that, black tank flush. You can hook the hose up to there, and as you're dumping your black tank, there's a little nozzle in there, and it'll flush it out as you're dumping the black tank. Then you have black and gray. I always recommend when you have your hose hooked up to that one over there, dump your black first, let that get all the way dumped, and then do your gray. So then you are partially set up for solar. You can see that's where the panels and whatnot would go. That's where your monitoring panel for solar would go. And you have satellite and cable here. Battery disconnect, so when you're storing this, you can disconnect the battery. Nothing will use it while you're away. However, if you're storing it and you have the ability to plug it in when you're storing it, leave your battery disconnect on and just make sure you turn all the lights off. Because if you disconnect it, the charge won't actually reach the battery. And then you do have this little cap down there. You can unscrew that and then run all your hoses and whatnot up underneath it here. That way you don't have to have this compartment door open all the time. Some storage here, underneath here. Nice pass-through storage. Right here you got your automatic leveling system. So turn it on. All you gotta do is hit auto level. If you forget anything I explained about the leveling system, this whole largely printed instruction sheet is super helpful. It gives you a step-by-step instructions with how to do it. So as this is leveling, we'll continue around. You got one propane cylinder with your changeover regulator here. So it's an automatic changeover regulator that automatically switch when one tank is empty. So right now it's pointing that way. You can see where this black is pointing, it's pointing that way, so it's going to pull from the other tank on the other side. Let's say that other tank on the other side were to get emptied because you were using it, and this one were to be on. This is going to automatically switch. There's a little diaphragm in here that'll open up, and it'll switch to pulling from this tank. However, this doesn't rotate, indicating it's switched its tank. So keep that in mind. And then some people think putting it in the middle like this is going to pull from both tanks equally. It doesn't work that way. It's one or the other. Check up on the leveling system. Oh, the back jacks went down. Yep. The back jacks will go down, and then it'll do it all its thing, and we'll keep going on. Light up here. Ooh, it's pretty bright. With docking lights that do that light over there, and then these three LEDs, orange LEDs up there. Come up here, this spot for your battery, which I definitely recommend taking your battery out in the winter, storing it somewhere warmer than just being sitting out in the cold. With this fifth wheel, it's a little bit better because it's inside a compartment, but still the cold is harsh on these vehicles. And then you got your spare tire right here. So as this leveling system's going, there's a little more tips about it. You don't want anyone inside when it's doing its level. And if someone's inside, have them stay still. You don't want to be having them move all around because that could be no bueno. And then, other propane tank. And then this is going to be the other side of that storage. You have satellite and cable outputs with an outlet out here, GFCI protected. All your GFCI outlets are in the same circuit. If one's going to trip, they're all going to trip. So you could set a TV in here and watch it outside. Tank heaters for fresh, gray, and black. The heating pads on your tanks. So if you are camping in the winter, it's going to keep them from freezing up on you. Right here is your brain for your in-command system. There's nothing you need to do here. Don't touch it. Don't fiddle with it. Don't do anything to it. More outdoor power. Again, GFCI protected. All your GFCIs are on the same circuit. Pretty much it for the outside. Right here is a tank vent. That's your vent for your fresh tank. So that's what it's allowing the air to be pushed out as you fill it with water. Alright, so the leveling system's done. We'll come back over here. It says level, checks down. If you catch it, it'll say auto level success. If you catch it, it only appears for just a few seconds. When you're ready to pick up and leave, let's say we've got a couple scenarios here. Let's see if it does what it does. So let's say you're just retracting the jacks because you don't want it leveled when you're away or whatnot. You can hit auto retract rear and enter. It's going to retract just the rear ones. If you hit auto retract all, it's going to retract the front ones as well. So what you would do is hook your truck up to it. So if you want to raise and lower the front, you would use this, and I'll show you that in a little bit. If you had your truck already hooked up to it, but it was already leveled, you hit auto retract all, it'll retract all the jacks, including the front ones, and the nose will go nose down. So I just recommend using auto retract rear. So we'll hit to begin. It's going to retract just the rear jacks. And we'll let that continue, and then we'll move on from here. Takes a little wet because they are electric. The electric ones are a little bit slower than the hydraulic ones. There you go. So if you want to raise and lower the front to get it on your truck, because you have to hook it on your fifth wheel, it's a little too high, a little too low. So you hit front, it's going to raise the front. Pretty easy. Hit retract. See how that light stays red? Hit front again. It's going to retract the front. Super simple. And there's other things you can fiddle with. Yeah, there's a manual mode, so you can manually level it if you want. See manual mode, auto reconnect. You can program a determined hitch height. And then there is also drop front jacks. So you could do that because when you pull in, the jacks will be all the way up. So you just hit, instead of having to come in here and hit front just to hold it as you're lowering the front jacks because you're unhooking from your truck, you back into your site, go to the menu, drop front jacks, hit enter to begin, and then it's going to lower the front jacks for you so you don't have to stand here and hold the button. All right, now we're ready for the inside. So we'll come into the inside. We'll start with the in-command system. You can control the lights from here. Right now your passcode is all zeros. If you want to change it, go to settings, passcode, right here. Enter the current passcode, and then it'll ask you to enter your new passcode. If you did change your passcode, and if you take this in for any warranty work, any things to get installed, and we need to open this up, let your service writer know what your password is, because it can be frustrating to not know the password to get in it, and then you have to go track the service writer down to get them to call the customer. So if you change it, let somebody know. And then go to HVAC, front AC optional, hit it, you can go on. Fan is just going to allow the fan to run on it, it won't turn the compressor on. Then you can change the fan speed from there. Cool, that's going to be your AC. Fan, you have auto, high, and low. I recommend leaving it on auto. Auto is going to allow it to set to regulate at its set temperature. So set to 57. If that zone reaches 50, when the zone reaches 57, AC will shut off, and then as it gets warmer back in there, it'll turn back on again to help regulate the temperature. If you just had it on high, it's just going to keep running no matter what. That's the reason I recommend running it on auto. It's going to allow it to prevent it from freezing up, from overrunning. And then you hit it again, turn it off. Then you go to rear AC, same thing, cool, high, low, and then you have heat. It'll ask for source of heat. Your only source is gas. And again, fan speed, auto, high, low. And then hit it again, you have auto. So you had it set to 68, right? And it's 90 degrees during the day. It'll know to run your AC on to bring the temperature down in here to 68 degrees. But let's say if that 90 degree day turns into a 40 degree night, it'll automatically know to run the furnace to get it to 68 degrees. So, and then you can open and close your fan vent. That's over there from here. Open, there's a delay. You hear it beep, and it's gonna open right up. Then you have your fan right there. Hit close, and it'll close right up. And then you have lights. So you can turn on and off your bedroom light from here. The main ceiling light, and then your awning light. Then you can go to slides and awnings. You have bed slide, it's the slide in the bedroom. Kitchen slide, it's that slide there. Sofa slide, ODS. ODS is off door side, so it's the driver's side of the camper. And then DS is door side. It's the door side of the camper, the passenger side. Then you have controls for your awning. So we'll run out. You can control your awning from right here, but since I want to be able to show you it as it's running, we'll go outside. And you have this smart arm feature right here. So to use it, you have to push and hold, let's see this unlock button until that light turns on. Now you can control your awning from out here. Does not stop automatically. That's something you have to visually see. When I see that bare metal tube and the flap hang down, I know I'm all the way out. They are adjustable for pitch. You have to be taller than me or have a step stool. You grab that large part, you can pull it down. It'll lower the corner. You can do that in both corners. So if it's raining, you can have water run off to the corner, or if you want it lowered so the sun's not in your eyes, you can do that. If you do roll it in wet, because I don't recommend leaving it out on a heavy rain, so roll it in when it gets heavy, gusts of wind, heavy rain. If you roll it in wet, as soon as you get the chance to roll it back out so you can let it dry off so it doesn't hold moisture. You can also, it doesn't have it in it, you have to add one to it. And we have to install one if you want it, but it has provisions for a wind sensor. And then you have lights here, on or off. Just tap it, keep tapping it, goes through the brightness modes. You can also turn this on and off from the inside, but the funny thing is if you have this set to on the outside, right? And then you go to turn it on the inside, it'll turn them off. And then you can close it from here. Just remember, your hand is in the way. If you're holding it like this, you're gonna crush your hand if you just aren't paying attention. Let's see, right here. Hold down to adjust pitch. See how you can, move your hand out of the way last minute. There you go. That's it for the awning. The furnace is on. Must have, when I was demonstrating the HVAC, not turned it off. Yep. Alright. So we covered all that. You can read it, your fresh, your black, and your grays. Your gray 2, that one in the back I was showing you, is just your kitchen sink. It's on its own gray tank. So you can read battery voltage here. It's always going to read the 13.5, somewhere around above 13 when you're plugged in for a charge. Water pump, you can turn on and off your water pump here. Water heater, hit it. You can do gas and electric, or just electric. Like I was showing you outside, if you want to do electric, make sure that switch outside is on. You can turn on and off the interior lights here too. Here, you have to buy the actual replacement for this. You go on the Furion website. It gives you you can buy it, order it from them. Then you pay them a monthly fee for a Wi-Fi router, so you can have Wi-Fi in here. Bathroom, super simple. Got your light switch here. They give you stuff to mount your own toilet paper roll holder. They never mount them at the factory because someone out there is going to complain that it's not in the right spot. Keep in mind, if you mount them and then you come back and one of your complaints is my toilet paper roll holder is loose, that's not warranty because that's a part that you installed. Shower, very simple, hot and cold. Sliding shower doors, lift this up. You can slide them. Definitely recommend always latching this back closed when you travel. Toilet, simple too. As long as you're pushing this pedal, it's going to flush. The nice thing about this toilet is it's porcelain, so it'll feel like you want it home. And then your sliding bathroom door works the same. Unclip it, just like a shower, unclip it, slide it, clip it when you travel so it doesn't move. And you do have a fan up here. Crank up vent. Definitely recommend running this when you're taking hot showers. Bedroom, not a whole heck of a lot. You do have a spot for a washer dryer. It'd have to be a combo washer and dryer because there isn't much room for anything bigger. Emergency exit, super simple. Lift up these latches. The window will pivot out and then you jump. Don't mess with it unless there is an emergency because I've heard differing stories from different people at different times, but I've heard some of them when you pivot them open at a certain point and the whole window falls out. So keep that in mind. Spot to mount a TV, power, satellite cable out here. double check the screws that come with the mount you buy, but from Walmart or from here, Best Buy, whatever. Usually they're too long and they'll screw through the outside of your camper. Then you do have light switch in here. Then two outlet and then dual USBs over there. Sadly, no outlet over here. There is one in the closet though. Hey. Come on down over here. Plenty of storage in here. Got your breaker box in here. That's all your breakers for your 120 volt appliances. All your fuses for your 12 volt. Definitely recommend buying a thing of assorted fuses. Microwave just works just like your household microwave. It's only going to work when you're plugged in. Range cooktop, super simple. Flip this up, fold this back, turn this to the flame, twist it. She'll light right up. The gas is off, so it won't light right now. Very simple. Your oven's just a little different. Turn this to the flame right here. Push and hold this. As you're pushing and holding that, twist this sparker. And then I like to do it when I can see, because what you're looking for is that pilot in there to get lit. Once the pilot is lit, you can turn it to your desired temperature. Now, if you want to cook again in a few hours and you don't want to go through all the process of relight that pilot again, if you turn it off but turn it to the flame, it leaves the pilot on but shuts the burners off. But definitely recommend turning the whole thing completely off before you go to bed. Just getting these ready for the demonstration for your TVs. But we'll go to your fridge real quick. Fridge, super simple. A couple different modes, on or off, auto or gas. So you can see the light. Right now it's saying it's auto. Oop, I turned it off. So right now, go to mode. See it says auto. That light right there. Just let you know it's in auto. Tap it again. Oh, sorry. So the little light is right here for auto, right there for propane. Yep. See the little green light next to the 5, right there. Kind of hard to see. And then hit it again. It'll show up next to the propane symbol. So auto is the one I just recommend leaving it on. It's going to automatically default to 110. So if you're plugged in, that's what it's going to use. If the campground will lose power, someone would strip over your short cord, whatnot, it'll automatically switch to running off of propane if your propane were to be on. If not, it'll try to light and then just stop. And then you can change your temperature. Now, unlike your fridge at home, it's not going to start getting cold the moment you plug this camper in. The fridge this size is going to take about 10 to 12 hours to get to operating temperature. So keep that in mind. The light switch here does decorative lights on the slide. Dimmer switch, tap it, turns the lights on, tap and hold, dims them. Mood lighting. We'll take these with me. We'll actually move these from where they were into there. You got dual recliners with, you pull this black metal tab up, not metal, but it's plastic to recline, and then you have lights with a USB port, and then massage and heat on both sides. Turn the light off. We'll start over here. Remote for your radio. Your radio is also a HD DVD player. It's not a Blu-ray player. It's just standard, just DVDs that'll just play in HD. Tap it. The power button turns it on. You got zones. Zone 1 is inside. You hit it, it'll turn zone 1 off. It'll just be outside. And then zone 2 is outside. You can just have zone 1 on. You can see how that can be useful. Presets, push and hold. You have play, pause, stop, rewind, fast forward, or skip radio channels. And then Bluetooth, so hit that, you can pair your phone on it. You look for Furion DV3300. Sometimes it'll ask for a pin. It'll be all zeros, all ones, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here is what's going to allow you to cycle through all your other modes. And then your radio, this remote works for your radio as well as the remote for the DVD player. So we'll put that in there. You do have a fireplace. Bam. Right down here. So this is the power button. You have a temperature. I'm going to change the temperature of the flames. Not the flames, but the heat that comes out. Heat, this will change the intensity. 0 heat, low heat, high heat, back to no heat. And then dimmer, you can dim the flame. Then you have a timer. You can set a timer on it. All the way from 1 hour to, I believe, 8 hours. The nice thing about these is they're electric, strictly electric, and they get hot pretty quick. Got your remote for your TV. Put that in there too as well. Now you saw, oh, there's a TV remote, but where's the TV? Well, you got one of these fancy things right here. TV lift up, down. There's your TV. You do have some clicking lights that you turn on and off at the light fixtures itself. Right above the TV as well. You got some more over there too. And I'll show you how to turn those on. Boom. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. Light switch here. Turns on those two lights I was talking about. USB ports, outlets over here. More USB ports, more outlets over here. This light turns on and off the main living light. Yeah. I really like these TV lifts. It kind of keeps everything neat, and if you live at a campground where people like to break in, because I've been to quite a few campgrounds where they've had quite a few break-ins. Lower this, no one's gonna know there's a TV, so they're not gonna take it. That's just in my experience from some of the campgrounds I've been to. There's some thieves around there. Emergency exit. Don't mess with this part. You just unclip it. Window will pivot out. You can jump out. You can open these windows by this knob right here. And then this turns into a bed. Very difficult. These both turned into bed. Difficult to show one-handed, but I'll explain the best I can. Velcro these cushions, right? Set them aside. I would just set them on the recliner, because when you're sleeping in here, I don't think anyone will be using those recliners. Lift up underneath. You can see there's some legs, kind of. Lift this up. It'll pivot up and out, kind of like this shape. And then there's legs underneath that you unfold. There's no latches or anything. You just unfold them. It'll set on the ground, and then you will fold this back part down. It'll fill in that gap that's created. And then you have a nice platform to sleep on. Alright, that's it for all the fun stuff. There's a few more things we want to go over. Some safety features. You have a smoke alarm over there. Take 9-volt batteries, just like your one at home. If it starts giving those low voltage chirps, throw your battery in. Got you a smoke alarm right here. And then what I'm looking for is... You know, they put them in different spots all the time. I bet you it's up here. Nope. Yeah, here's one of them. And that's a carbon monoxide alarm. Again, 9-volt batteries. They start giving them your low voltage chirps, throw a new battery in it. I'm looking for your propane detector. Just so you folks know where it is and what it does. And to me, that's an important thing to tell customers. Oh, right here. Okay. That's a propane detector. If there's a propane leak, that'll go off. If you hear it go off, it's definitely a noticeable alarm. Calmly leave, come out, shut your gas off, let it air out, and then you can come back in and investigate. And if it keeps doing the leak and you can't figure out what it is, definitely take it in. It's not worth sleeping in it overnight knowing there's a propane leak and something could happen. This is hardwired into the 12-volt system, so there's no batteries you have to worry about changing. However, if that battery up front in that compartment starts to die, this will start getting low voltage chirps because it doesn't have enough voltage to operate correctly. So all of those safety appliances have a 10-year lifespan. Smoke alarms, LP alarm, carbon monoxide alarm, fire extinguisher. So if in 10 years you still own this, well, hopefully you do. It's a really nice camper. Replace these, even if you've never used them, just for peace of mind, and it's a safety feature. You want it to work. You want to know it works when you need it, not think it works when you need it. All right. Well, that concludes our virtual tour of your Keystone Cougar. I hope you guys enjoy this camper. I do a lot. I'll get a heck of a lot of good use out of it, and I hope you found this video informative. Goodbye.